Howard Schultz, American businessman and the former chairman and CEO of Starbucks, really meant well when he launched a drive to write Race Together on the cups. But it did not go down well. Kathleen Day, a business journalist and lecturer at Johns Hopkins Carey Business School, later told Fortune magazine that it backfired because people just wanted a cup of coffee. High street fashion chain Benetton was sued world over a series of ads which were deemed provocative and distasteful by many. The man behind these controversial images of the Italian sportswear brand was legendary photographer Oliviero Toscani. After over 2 decades of association, the split came in April 2000. According to reports, Toscani was allegedly dumped by Benetton after the company's sales were hit in the US due to his advertisements, which once catapulted it to fame. Back home in India, several brands have also crossed their thin line, only to step back later. 2 years ago, Bajaj Auto and Parle Products announced that they would not advertise their products on news channels that promote toxic content. That year, jewelry brand Tanishq had to pull down an advertisement showing an interfaith marriage after being trolled on Twitter and Facebook. The brand was accused of promoting love jihad. Surf Excel's Holy advertisement also drew similar backlash. And now, a recent social media post made by Hyundai's affiliate in Pakistan to commemorate the so-called Kashmir Solidarity Day has put the company in a tight spot in India. Hyundai is facing calls for a boycott by social media users in India and has now issued an apology. The matter also snowballed into a diplomatic row, with India's Ministry of External Affairs summoning South Korea's ambassador to express its strong displeasure over the social media post. The South Korean foreign minister, in a call with his Indian counterpart, has regretted the offense caused to Indians by the post. While Hyundai India said it stands strong on its ethos of respecting nationalism, in a statement on February 6th, its parent company apologized only on Tuesday. India said it expects foreign companies and their affiliates to refrain from making false and misleading comments on matters of sovereignty and territorial integrity. Similar posts by a Kia dealership in Pakistan and American fast food chains KFC and Pizza Hut's Pakistani arms have also drawn strong reactions in India, forcing them to pull down the comments. KFC India has apologized for the post made by the Pakistan-based franchise. Lloyd Matthias tells us what foreign companies should keep in mind when it comes to public communication.
Fundamentally, I think global brands should certainly stay away from any geopolitical issues, right? I understand there's increasing pressure on brands to be participating and talking about social concerns which are relevant to their target audience or to their brand positioning. And that's perfectly okay. But when it comes to geopolitical issues, I think that's an absolute no-no. For the simple reason that global brands obviously operate across geographies, operate across countries. And whenever they take a stand on a geopolitical issue, there is bound to be sensitivity. So I think it's completely a no-no. And what I hear about certain brands doing it, I think completely is a completely unpardonable lapse. I think it's a complete failure of their communications process. The way I look at it is that even for global companies which do not have a direct operation in a market and where they appoint a franchisee, I think the franchisee's role is largely in terms of building their business. But when it comes to putting out anything in the public domain, any communication, I think that has to go through some form of a process. I know we're living in a real-time world where everything is instant and everything has to go real time. You need to have a very tight control on your communications process. Anything that goes out of a Twitter handle or an Instagram handle or any social media which bears your company name has to be at some level vetted.
Another expert, Harish Bijur, says that global companies should also be careful when commenting on social issues.
Firstly, I want to say that the business of business is business. Nothing more, nothing less. And therefore, when I do say that, I typically mean to say that brands must not wade into politics and religion. These are two things. And now I'm going to add geopolitics. It's not the business of brands to bother about that. Brands are global entities. Brands are meant to cater to consumers, and consumers know no politics of this kind. So I think it's best avoided. Social issues are fine, just as long as they don't tread onto the toes of politics and religion. So the moment, there is a color of politics or religion on social issues, I advise my corporate clients typically to avoid it altogether. It's not worth it because these are troubled waters. Brands are not meant to irritate people. Brands are meant to unite, not divide. And these kind of participations divide, like the Hyundai example today. So if you really look at it, I think, that local entity must have said, hey, this is the local day. It can create local jingoism. And I am a local brand. As far as Hyundai Pakistan is concerned, it's for Pakistan. And it's not only Hyundai, KFC has done it, and numbers of other guys have done it. That's a very, very narrow nationalistic way of looking at a brand. Where the mistake lies is that as far as Hyundai Global is concerned, its many entities have not been educated as to how local can they go. And if they go too local, they go anti-global. So a global brand cannot afford to be anything but global, which simply also means that a global brand cannot meddle in local affairs at all. You must avoid.
Wading into political issues will do more harm than good for multinational companies. Hyundai is India's second largest car maker, selling over 5 lakh vehicles in the country last year and exporting over 1.3 lakh units. Meanwhile, its Pakistan venture sold just 8,903 cars in the whole of 2021. Companies would not want to risk a boycott in one of the world's biggest consumer markets. Several foreign brands such as Dior, Calvin Klein, American Airlines, McDonald's and Zara have learned similar lessons in the past. They have publicly apologized to Chinese consumers for either listing Taiwan and Hong Kong as separate countries on their website or using maps that China sees as misrepresenting its territory. Companies will have to learn to tread a cautious path when they operate across geographies. They simply cannot afford to take sides and make comments on geopolitical issues, railing one side or the other, when the world is nothing but a one large market for them.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.